take those steps. Be on your way. Take those steps. When you have a dream, you gotta start. It's the only way. If you're gonna shine, and you're gonna shine, shine, shine. You're gonna shine.
Woo! We are here on the ranch. Thank you guys for joining us. A few minutes late, but we're here. And again, we are on the search for the best of Americana music around the globe, and we are in for a treat tonight. Again, I meet people all over the place. People send me things, but this is someone I actually have seen live and really enjoyed talking to them and meeting with them. So I had to have him on the show, how to bring him to the ranch. So this was down in Allendale, South Carolina, one of my favorite venues in the whole wide world. Highly recommend. It's in the middle of nowhere. And just all these people come out to hear his live shows every Wednesday night. So this is where I met Memphis Lightning. So without further ado, this is one of those acts that you just have to see live to really get just how much fun they can be. But tonight,
how you doing?
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
It's been a while, right?
I know. Life has been awesome. Just on the road, touring, all the fun stuff. And how about you? How have you been?
Same. I'm living the dream, you know?
It's what it's all about.
It really is. It really is. And some of us come to that in different ways, because you have a backstory too that I just love. I mean, you're one of my favorite heroes of survival. So your dad's not with us?
He is. He will be in just a few minutes.
Okay, I thought maybe you ditched him for the night.
Oh my God. No, you're good. I left him by the side of the road.
There you go.
But he's hitchhiking. He's coming.
All right. Yeah, this is a father and son duo. Which one is Memphis and which one is Lightning?
So, you ready for I got a quick story about the band name for you.
I remember it. This is a good one. I like it.
So, basically, the whole idea of Memphis Lightning was we started life as a band called the Blue Jets. And the Blue Jets, we started getting some national recognition. We're based out of the great state of Maine and playing roots, blues, and rock and roll. And what happened was, we found out we were getting sued. Someone owned the name. So we had only 30 days to come up with a brand new name. And my nickname was Lightning. And first place we ever toured outside of New England was Memphis. So Memphis Lightning was born. And it's funny because I'm the Lightning and everyone says, oh, is he the Memphis? And no, I'm the Lightning from Memphis Lightning. And he is the Grammy nominated musician, Big Red.
Big Red. Okay. So Big Red and Lightning tonight. A father-son duo on the road. And I gotta tell you, that's a tough gig. I had a group last week, and he had started touring with his family, and then there was this big brouhaha, and I don't even think they're talking to each other at this point.
Oh my God. It's so sad because it's like my dad and I, we get along so great, right? Not only do we happen to love the same type of music, and when I say same type of music, we love everything. I mean, I have just as much fun listening to an old blues album, like Eddie Boyd or Eddie Kirkland, as I do listening to Link Ray or Tom Petty or ABBA or Wilco, you name it. It's just everything.
I'm sorry, I just had to kill a lanternfly that dive bombed me. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm a little freaking out here. I'm so sorry.
You are good. Yeah. And if anything, I'm gonna shut this annoying little amp off in the background.
Right, and that'll give me time to tell you that we are streaming across 6 channels, and there are people watching. And I encourage you, if you have any questions, anything to say, you can chime in and be part of our show. So thank you guys for chiming in tonight and watching. So while I kill lanternflies.
Come on in. I think we got Big Red.
We got Big Red.
We got Big Red. Come on
in the house.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Nice to see you.
Good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, it has. How's life treating you?
Oh, it's been good. Really good. Really good. And I have my own show since the last time I've seen you.
Congratulations.
Which is really great. Blast Music 24/7 asked me to do an Americana show for them. And there was definitely a list of artists that I knew that I had to get on because we're showcasing the best in Americana music. And you guys shine when you play live.
What's that?
You guys shine when
Thank
you
you
play
very
live.
much. We have a lot of fun.
And it really, really shows when you guys play. So we were just getting a little bit of backstory on your name, how you came to be Memphis Lightning, and you are not the Memphis in the Memphis Lightning.
Right. Yeah, we were just talking about I'm the Lightning from Memphis Lightning, and you are the Grammy-nominated Big Red.
Yeah, thank you. No, the name originated back when we first started. We were more of a.
Already told the
Oh, you already
story.
went through
We
it.
got through that part.
All right. Well,
We got through that part.
Beat you to it, Red. I beat you to it.
Did you watch the Grammys last night?
No, we actually didn't.
No, we did not. Funny enough, I do. I always love to try to watch as many award shows as we can, but as you know, from being a fellow touring musician, it can get a lot. All the routing, all the touring, setting up interviews, and just being able to live life on top of it all.
Yeah.
Right. It can be a lot. It can be
Absolutely.
a lot. So, and you guys write? When do you find time to write?
So pretty much the writing process for us is whenever it hits us.
Yep.
It could be at 1 a.m. and we'll wake up out of a dead sleep. It could be at 5 a.m. It could be at noontime. It could be during the middle of a show. You never really know with us. I never attempt to block the creativity. Whenever we go for it.
And it's lucky we live together, so we're able to. when lightning strikes, we're able to capitalize on it. You know. And
That's
it's a
really
wonderful
good.
thing.
Do one of you write lyrics? One of you write music, or is this just a dual process?
I'd definitely say a dual process because like I'll come up normally like if I hear an idea and I'm writing it and then he'll come in and kind of fine tune it or even vice versa.
Yeah, we're always bouncing ideas off of each other.
Okay. All right. So it's a constant flow. I mean, you are definitely living the musical lifestyle, and music is a lifestyle.
Yeah, music is definitely our life. I would say it's what we do for work. It's what we do for fun. It's people ask us, "Hey, what do you guys do for fun when you're not on the road?" I'm like, we play music, and we always have. It's just what brings joy.
Yeah.
It's our entire life, and we are so blessed, so blessed to not only be able to do what we love. I get to do this with my dad. I get to go out on the road and tour and play the music we love and we have just the greatest fans and the greatest friends.
Absolutely.
And at the basis of it all, we have the most supportive family from my lovely girlfriend to my mom, to my nanny and pop, everyone that's been with us since the beginning. And I always thank everybody because if it wasn't for all of them, we couldn't do what we do.
That's right. We wouldn't be here. And, people ask me at shows and I tell them, I am so lucky. We're blessed. I get to live my dreams every day. I get to do what I love with who I love. And it's our own music. And for that, thank you. And it's a blessing. It's a gift. And especially with his history, every day is a gift. So it's incredible. And I'm very blessed and very happy to be able to do it.
Don't you love when somebody comes up to you and go, "Oh, you're a musician. What do you do all day?"
Yeah.
And you're like, you're exhausted. There's so much to do. What's your answer to that?
Well, it depends on if we're feeling funny or not. If I am in one of those moods, because I was raised on Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, you name it, right? I am just one of those people. If I get in a funny mood, you don't know what my answer is going to be. Now, generally, what I say is we try to get up early every morning. We always have a schedule, and living by a schedule is the best way to do it because it wasn't always that way. But as soon as you get into that mindset that you have to get up every day and you have to work, if it's setting up interviews, if it's routing, if it's touring, if it's talking to the agent, if it's signing contracts, it's a never ending day. And sometimes you have several hours of, okay, I can sit and practice, I can write music. Now all of a sudden, now it's back on the road.
Yeah, there's so much to do between when you do it, when you make the jump from doing it as a hobby or just doing it on the weekend and you have a day job versus when you're doing it for a living. Rent has to get paid, bills have to get paid, you need to eat. I don't like involuntarily fasting. So there's not enough time in the day. And anybody that does that knows that there's not enough time in the day to actually accomplish what you need to do, because other than your personal practice, if you're, an instrumentalist, or if you're a vocalist, or if you're an instrumentalist who sings, and then you get all your work together, songwriting, and then there's the business side of things where, oh, we actually have to get shows and get work, and how do I put this together, and how are the logistics going to work for, we need to do, how long is this tour this time? Well, so, as anybody that does that, and you well know yourself, there's a lot of time and effort put into it. You make 100 phone calls and you might get 2 or 3 back, and it can be very frustrating. And I think that's probably the biggest deterrent for most people, is they get frustrated. So, that's why I tell them, I go, there's not enough time in the day to do everything that I would like to be able to accomplish. And,
people watch American Idol and they just think, oh, they just put you on a bus and there you go. And most people,
absolutely, yeah, that would be nice.
Wouldn't that be just really living the dream?
Absolutely. They don't see all the work. They see you for those few hours you're on. Right. And that's our job. We're there to entertain. We're entertainers, and we're there to entertain people. And especially if people are paying money to come see you, they deserve a well put together, well thought out planned show. And whether you had a flat tire on the way there, the van broke down or whatnot, they don't care. They don't want to hear that, because they have the same problems in their life. They're coming to see you to forget about it. And our job is to deliver joy and make them forget about that for just a little bit of time. And so, and we really are, as we're so lucky to be able to do it.
And I'll tap in real quick. I'll add something to that. Is I've always thought of ourselves as entertainers. Yes, we're musicians because the music is always top notch, because we work so hard at our craft. I practice a minimum of 3 hours a day. I want the music as good as it can be. No questions asked. But every show, we're entertainers. If we're not putting on a show and making people feel good, and if they're not smiling and dancing and having fun, in my opinion, we're not doing our job right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so true. So let's get to the music. The first song up is going to be Up, Down, Turn Around. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, here's the thing. That is a tune that was written in more that it has that kind of roots rock vibe, right? And I've always been a huge, Rolling Stones, Tom Petty, the Traveling Wilburys, on top of the more blues and, stuff like Eddie Kirkland and Eddie Boyd. But the thing is, that song is, I always like to write stories. I can write a story. I feel like I did a good job. And certain songs you pull from real life things that have happened to you, and other times it's from watching a movie or watching something happen. Mm-hmm. In this case, the Up Down Turnaround was actually based out of watching an old Steve McQueen movie, and it was called The Cincinnati Kid. And you never know where the inspiration's gonna come
where
from.
It hits, when it hits, and that is one of the ones that we do. We're a high energy roots rock and roll band, blues based, but all American roots music we draw from. So that one has a little bit more of that country flavor to it, but it's country flavored rock and roll, and it's fun because we get to mix and draw from so many styles. And in our style of music that we play, we draw from so much that it's like spices and seasonings when you're cooking. We're going to go a little bit more, a little Southern fried on that one there, and it's got a little more country twang to it than. And some of the other ones might have more of a bluesy feel to it. And other ones are just more going to be straight up rock and roll, or something might be a little more pop flavored. We even have some that kind of have an island flavor to them. And when you do it, you're doing it authentically, the best of your ability to whatever. But that song to me had a little bit more of the country flavor rock and roll. That's the way I think of that song that way.
Well, let's give it a listen.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
I went out last Saturday night. Me and my boys were feeling alright. Until we came across this girl, most beautiful thing in this beautiful world. Come on now, baby, come on with me with her. And don't you know it, she's a shy old girl. And when I do what I normally do, I said, baby, I could cure your blues. Come on, baby, why look so sad? You know I could never treat you bad. Oh no, baby, you know what I need. I need you here right next to me. She said the up, down, turn around, meet me on the sides. Come on, pretty baby, won't you see what I mean? I said, jump, you gotta jump real high. Gotta leave a little bit for baby. Up, down, turn around, meet me on the sides. Come on, pretty baby, won't you see what I mean? I said, jump, you gotta jump real high. Gotta live a little bit for the day you die. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mayhem on the keyboards! Down, turn around, meet me on the side. Come on, pretty baby, won't you see what I mean? I said jump, you gotta jump real high. Gotta live before the day now. Up, down, turn around, meet me on the side. Come on, pretty baby, won't you see what I mean? I said jump, you gotta jump real high. Gotta learn to live before the day you die.
All right, we're here with Memphis Lightning on the ranch. Great stuff, bringing back guitar solos. And we're getting some great responses. People are digging your sound. We're getting some really good stuff here. But I have to talk about that guitar. Is that a cigar box guitar?
That is a cigar
Yes.
box guitar. Isn't that cool?
I love it. It's got a very distinct sound.
Okay, while we're talking about cigar box guitar, I have to show you one. Okay, you got to see this.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think you had that in Allendale. I would have remembered.
So I have way too many guitars. I mean, way too many.
and a very active imagination.
And a very active imagination. So this is just one of many cigar box guitars that I own and I play, but there's something special about this one. So as you can see, it's a double neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got your regular right-handed. But in case you don't think learning an instrument right-handed or left-handed is hard enough, and you have plenty of time on your hands, then you can pull a Lightning and learn them both.
Yep.
And this
That's crazy.
Just alone, this thing.
That I've seen a lot. I never saw it before. That is amazing. Lightning, I
And
love it.
this goes on tour with us every time we go on tour now. And for a while, because this is relatively new, you know, I in the sense of I was left-handed as a small child, and then, you know, ended up going right-handed. So when I learned guitar, I learned everything right-handed. But then many years later, I thought, you know what, I could learn left-handed guitar. And just about a year ago, I think it was about a year ago when we started designing, and it took time. You know, it took prototypes, and this is the outcome. The Memphis double neck.
Now, that going right-handed, left-handed, was that part of the recovery for you, or?
Well, what's funny is it was so many years later, it was more of a challenge. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to see if I could have the ability to learn left-handed guitar and then also learn them together. There's just a fabulous guitar player by the name of Michelangelo Badio, and he was based out of Chicago, and he's one of the only guitarists I've ever seen play two guitars this way. So one this way and one this way. So we kind of little inspiration on this one.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great stuff. Because there was a time where you didn't even know if you could play.
Yes. So you're very, very correct there. I was diagnosed with a form of cancer. It was a form of classic Hodgkin's lymphoma. And even though I was very blessed, it was a treatable, not supposed to be curable. And 6 months later, I was cured. And but there was some side effects. And one of the biggest side effects was a very rare form of neuropathy. And I lost the feeling in my fingers. And, you know, there's been tries to get it back. And I have gotten it back, like, to a point, you know. But it's one of those things that it's a never-ending process. You change your diet. They tried putting me on different, like, nerve blockers. You know, I'm not really, you know, big into medication or anything like that. So I'm more, if I can just change my diet, I'm much more happy.
So you actually don't have feelings at some of the tips of your fingers?
So now it kind of comes and goes. You know what your feet feel like when they fall asleep?
Yeah.
That's my fingers. But for several years, nothing. Lost complete feeling. And there was talk about it coming back on its own. But it's one of those things that, yes, I have gotten some back, but at the end of the day, it's been a journey. Mm-hmm. And just going through that journey of having to relearn my entire instrument and never backing down. You know, I really do believe, you know, I was put here to play guitar, and I'm doing it.
When you are doing it, So you feel like a pressure when you play, or sometimes
pretty much like when your feet fall asleep and you walk, it's pins and needles.
It's pins and needles.
Pins and needles.
And you're holding down frets and chords and flying up and down
the determination.
Right,
because we play every day, and we had just gotten off a tour. This was actually just as the pandemic kicked off. We had just finished up a East Coast tour, and we're going to be housebound for a while. And I'm like, hey, let's play. And for about 6 to 8 weeks, nothing. No. And I was like, this is really strange. We're housebound, yet this would be the best time to be playing, go out in the studio and just play. And I had no idea. He didn't tell me. So it was after that one day he comes up and says, hey, Dad, let's jam. Let's play. Let's work. I got some stuff I'd like to work on. And I was like, oh, yeah. And
but even you could tell, you know, when I was playing, it wasn't the way. It was more bare bones. You know, because I had to learn everything. I had to relearn my instrument.
Oh, absolutely. Right. He went from the level of being able to play Danny Gatt and Roy Buchanan and that level on the instrument to like, okay, you know, I didn't really want to do that stuff anymore. I'm like, what's going on? And then, you know, then come to find out. And then to sit and watch him day after day after day practice and just bear down and will it to happen. He's back to where he was and beyond, and you know, matured as a human, as a player. to the point where, I mean, it's incredible to see. And I know struggles he had, and the fact that he doesn't have the full feeling like the rest of us do, and the sensitivity. Like, I had to watch him with knives for a while because I didn't want him to lose a finger.
Right.
And but the fact that he's able to, and it was all by ear. It was all his intonation with his ear. He had to go by ear. And he actually has, people have seen it. He's got a tattoo now on his wrist that started off as,
I don't know if you can see this.
Yep. It started off as a couple of lines.
And when I bend a finger, you'll see the
corresponds to a tendon for each finger. And he used to draw that barcode on every gig with a Sharpie.
So when I'm playing guitar, most guitar players watch your left hand. I don't. I watch my right because I do a lot of hybrid picking with my fingers. So I watch the right-hand side, and I could tell you what finger I'm using based off of watching the tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo artists happen to see that and catch that at a show. And he's like, I think I can help you with that. And the ink that he used actually kind of catches light a little bit.
It does. And
That
a shout
shows.
out to Scott Cooper and Big Daddy Tattoo in Port Charlotte, Florida for making that happen.
And he's a wonderful.
That's amazing.
So that was just sheer determination. Found it where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, that is a big story of there is a will and a way, and how you adapted, you figured out the tattoos, you can watch your tendons. That is just the dogged determination. So let's hear another song. We're going with Strings Attached. Tell us about that.
Okay, this is a really fun tune. So the idea on this tune is the whole idea of I've actually had a lot of people try to tell me their thoughts on it. And I love hearing everyone's interpretation because in my opinion, there's really not a wrong one. When I came up with the song, it's the whole idea of not allowing anything to keep you down and then taking the people in your life that support you and letting them in. Because for a lot of musicians, it can be very hard to want to let anyone in, and when you do, the world is your oyster. And it's being able to accept the fact that there is happiness in this world and we do deserve it.
That's well put. And I think your perspective on everything, I'm sure your perspective changed in the world after that, because, it could have gone differently. And
very right. Very right.
And so your vision is a lot different than a lot of people, and you've learned to respect a lot of things that people don't come till later in life, or if they ever do.
I couldn't agree more. I like to think of myself as I hold nothing against anybody. I don't care about politics. I don't care about religion. What I care about are good human beings who want to make this world a better place. And if I can do that with my music, then I'm doing the right thing.
Yep. And we have people in the audience who are agreeing with you.
So true. I couldn't agree more,
Absolutely.
Billy.
Spread a little bit of joy,
All right. Let's spread a little bit of joy and listen to Strings Attached.
Living on this old world, I cannot take no baby, cannot take much more. I don't you see? 'Cause I'm right here, baby, there you are. And I don't know now, baby, bound to be a big star. And if I try someday, every time you see me, I've got a target on my back. There's something you should know, baby, because nothing keeps a good man down except the strings attached. Nothing keeps a good man down except the strings attached. I know what you see when you're looking, baby, at a man like me. You got your mind made up. a ghost and a baby out on the hall, and I'll never stop. Every time you see me, I gotta tell you on my back, and I gotta tell you, nothing keeps a good man down except the strings attached. Nothing keeps a good man down except the strings attached. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Big Red! The Duke! They call me Lightning. Our full-time keyboard player couldn't be here tonight, but he's here in spirit. Can we hear it for Rick Curran? Because next time you see us, he's going to be with us. A big thank you to Don Odell and his lovely wife and brother. Thank you all so much for being here and making this possible. I hope you have a great night!
Memphis Lightning getting it done. Thank you. And we're back here on the ranch. And again, if any of you watching would like to be on the ranch, there's this annoying thing streaming below. Just hit my website, the shows. There's a form to fill out. Some of us have to fill it out twice when they don't send us the right videos. But
We call that pulling a lightning. Yeah.
all right. Oh, we got some comments coming in. What do we got? Oh, we got lots of clapping going on. I love clapping. I love clapping for a live audience. It's great stuff. So, all right. Where were we? Okay, we're talking about your story. You had to relearn guitar, relearn your perspective on the world. Really.
That's right.
Sometimes you're just changed forever, you know, and your insight has changed forever. And you've been such a positive message with that, you know. You're not bitter. You're just like, all right, now I got to do something different. And that's so admirable.
No, thank you so much. I'm a big believer in the whole idea of, second chances. And I always appreciated things, but definitely after going through that scare, I appreciate everything in this world, all the little things. Every morning that I wake up and I'm up. I'm on the right side of the sod, as they say, and it's a beautiful day in general. And I can never, ever argue with that, because the fact is, some would say I don't belong here because of what I went through, and others would say, no, I do belong here because of everything I've been through.
Right.
Life is short. It changes your perspective, or say it puts things back into perspective. And
very good.
Nice one, Red.
We all get our day-to-day, got someone cut you off and this and that, and I'm guilty of it when we're driving and I'm on the road, and then you realize, like, you know what, life's too damn short. It's the fact we woke up, we got a whole new day to start all over. We don't have to carry all that other crap around that we did. And I start looking at the good, more of the good in things. And I was blessed to have my son, and I didn't know if he was going to be here. And it was the hardest thing to ever go through, to know that, here's your child and watching him battle for their life. And, it's just like, no, you know what? I ain't got time for that. Life's too short, and everybody has stuff to deal with. Everybody has crosses to bear and whatnot. So ours, cancer, it's different for everybody. And, but we're all in the same boat together. You know, we only get one spin on this rock, and it's, let's enjoy each other. And, you know,
Yeah, and you guys are able to do what you love on top of it. I mean, that's just, again, keeping things in perspective and saying, all right, life is short. Let's do what you love in life
absolutely.
and do it well.
Do it to the best
Do
of
the
our
best of your
ability.
ability. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And you guys are good. So
Oh, thank you.
there is that. There is that. And I would say it brought you guys closer, but I can't imagine you guys being any closer. I don't know.
Oh no, that's my boy. And we've been, no, you know what? I've been very blessed. I've got the best son any parent could ever ask for.
I got the best dad.
He's been close. You know, I was Mr. Mom when he was younger. And with him, I had got off the road touring. I used to tour with an old blues legend by the name of Eddie Kirkland. And for those who don't know who Eddie is, you should. He was John Lee Hooker's guitarist, and he was Otis Redding's band leader. And that was the man that took me on the road and taught me the blues. And then in turn, much later on, taught lightning. And so, just when I got off the road with him, we had a few bad daycare experiences and whatnot. And I was assimilating back to civilian life, teaching lessons and gigging. And I kept him home. So the best thing that worked out for us was that he was home with me all day. And then my wife got home. I would go to teach lessons and gig. And having that time together, it was awesome. And I now have a whole new appreciation for what my mother and most moms go through when you're taking care of your little one all day. And it was just, wow, what an experience. So I think that plays a large factor in
Absolutely
why we're close. And I was blessed to be able to coach his little league teams and his Babe Ruth teams and do all those things that fathers want to love and get a chance to do. And then finally one day have your son say, oh, or your child, in my case my son, but I want to play a guitar. I want to play, follow my love, and I'm like, ooh, I was like, yes. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to push it on my kids. I wanted my kids to be passionate about something. And whether they were going to be lucky enough to make a living at it, that's even better. But just be passionate about something and find your own way. And I got lucky. He followed me into music, and we've been going strong ever since. And I'm just so very blessed for that.
There aren't many father-son. I mean, there are people, that their sons they play, but they don't often play together.
Right. I have a lot of friends who play, and their kids play.
Right.
They play a different style of music, and they don't play together. I'm like, you don't even play on like holidays or get together and jam. I'm like, I don't understand that concept. I when he grew up, there was always instruments around the house. The drum set was there, pianos were there, guitars were there. I left everything out, and I never said no. And when he wanted to touch it, I have friends like, oh, you can't touch that. You might break it. I'm like, it's an instrument. So what? Buy another one. I wouldn't put the most expensive vintage thing you have on the, you shouldn't have that, laying around to get broke. But I never said no. And I wanted him to explore his curiosity with it. And got lucky he got bit by the bug. And that he plays multi-instrumentalist. And that's everything was always there. And I wanted to encourage that with him.
Mm-hmm. And you did.
You know what? Because with what is going on with your hands, there are easier instruments to play.
So what's funny enough is I always play guitar, and guitar and bass. When I relearned those, that was I'm not gonna say easy, but that was very palatable to do. But then relearning piano was definitely more of a struggle. Like if I'm playing more like keyboard or organ, a lot easier. But the weighted keys of a piano, if I don't lift my hands up quick enough and go to roll, I'll just break fingers, which I have.
Oh, I would thought piano would be easier, but you're right. The weighted keys.
When you're down and then
you
pull the fingers up, and then you go to turn. And I remember once relearning piano, and I broke 3 fingers, 2 on this hand, 1 on this hand.
Yeah, and it sounds funny, but a side effect, chemo made his bones more brittle. So it doesn't take anything. So you got to be even more careful not to, break them.
Well, my aunt was an artist, And she had breast cancer and she didn't think she would live. So they hit her with everything. She lived, but she lost the entire use of her right arm. And it's pain. There's like that falling asleep, shooting up pain that she's lived with. And she lost her art. She tried to come around with the other arm and, but no, people don't understand how invasive the chemo and the radiation can actually be.
Oh yeah. I most people don't know I worked in the medical field, for a point in my life, and you would handle that stuff and you can't get that on your skin, yet we put it inside people's veins to cure them and help them. It's dangerous stuff. And sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. And so it's very toxic to the body, but we're blessed that, we think about the positive that they're here, but it robs a lot of things from a lot of people and changes them forever.
Right. It changes you forever. And it's interesting. I was talking to a female artist about Tara, about hand positioning. She's a saxophonist, and she was getting a lot of pain and stuff in her wrist because, they're set up for males that are a certain size and stuff. And she finally found a female-friendly saxophone, which didn't hurt her wrist.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, you try to adapt. You adapt and try to keep it going because that's your joy. That's what brings you happy.
And
do you know Abby Gardner? I don't know if you've ever heard of Abby Gardner, but again, she had some hand problems, and what she did, she's like, I'm going to play. I'm turning the guitar sideways and, went slide, dobro style.
That's amazing.
Good for her.
Great for her.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So the talent, you love what you do and you just adapt and do it. Let's hear another song. We got one more. We got Let It Rock.
Let It Rock. This is basically in dedication to all the old school rock and rollers. One of my biggest heroes ever, Link Ray and Chuck Berry and Dion and all the old school.
It's good old school rock and roll.
All right, let's do it.
Mayhem is back.
Oh, let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let it go. Oh, let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let it go. Don't know what to do when you're feeling the blues, so let it rock and let it roll. I said, come on, baby, tell me what's on your mind. I said, come on, baby, better lose my time. Oh, baby, don't you see, you're messing with me, you're gonna blow your time. Let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let it go. Let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let it go.
Scott and Sarah.
Don't know what to do when you're feeling the blues. So let it rock, let it roll. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Byrne on the keyboard. Let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let go. Oh yeah! Let it rock and let it roll, let it soothe the soul, don't ever let go. Don't know what to do when you're feeling the blues, so let it rock, let it roll. I said, come on, baby, baby, don't you understand? I'll be doing everything, baby, you know that I can. Baby, don't you see when
Got that swing with his head.
Damn, you're making me tired.
I'm getting dizzy. Why?
All right, got a lot of fans chiming in on that one. Again, welcome back to the ranch. You're here on the ranch with Randie O'Neill. We are here every Monday night at 7 o'clock, finding the best Americana bands around the world. And we found some real talent tonight. Some people could really play. And again, Paul was chiming in that he really loves the fact that you leave instruments out to play. You know, that they weren't China and they weren't, you know, that you want people to learn and play it. And you know what? When you learn to play, you make tons of mistakes. You know?
Absolutely. The frustration factor in learning an instrument is one of the biggest things. And I taught for many years. And one of the things I learned, what I wanted with him was remove that, you know, frustration factor. It's not easy or hard. It's some things might take a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you might learn in a day. Other things might take a few weeks, months, or longer. But you just keep working at it. And I watched that with him as he grew. And like I said, I wanted to encourage the curiosity. Oh, what does this sound like? Or what does this do? And it was, I mean, to watch my kid just start playing all the different, I mean, it was awesome. It's there's nothing better than sitting there watching him do what he does on stage. I take my dad moments whenever I can, but he's my partner in crime. And I'm just, like I said, I'm living my dream. It's awesome.
I admire that so much. I had the opposite story growing up where my family just had no set use for music. And they actually sold my guitars one day. I came home from school and they were gone. They were alcoholics. There's a whole backstory. And it took me.
Guitar? Oh my
They
God.
sold them. I had two of them and they sold them. They were just gone. And I'm like, okay, I can sing, you know, and I did. I put a lot into my voice, but it took me years before I could pick up an instrument. I've only been playing a couple years now, like 10 years. You know, because I couldn't pick it up. I was like traumatized, you know, but so I love musical families where they just all sit around and jam. I just love hearing those stories, you know.
But you know, the one thing is, and I'll say I'm so sorry that happened to you, but like you said, you had your voice. And that's one thing it can never take away from you.
Yep.
Always sing your heart out from that moment to now. And
that's what I do. But it's, again, you adapt. You know, when it's something you love to do, you don't let them take it. You just find a way to adapt and
do it. You find a way to, you know, get you know. A friend of mine once told me, and I have to remind myself of this all the time too, never let them steal your joy. And, you know, and it's true, because the thing that brings you the most happiness, you know, and any musician knows this too. The majority of us, I was the first musician in the family. You know, I had very wonderful parents who were supportive of lessons and stuff. But when the day came that, you know, I decided, hey, guess what? I want to do this for real. And what, you're not going to go to school and be a doctor? You know, I might as well have said I want to be a bum. And, you know, and it took a very, very long time to kind of win over that thought process, especially older school, as you well know, like parents and stuff. The fact that, like, you might as well just say, I want to be a bum and do nothing. And, you know, I'll starve and I'm going to be living in a van down by the river, you know, under a bridge. And to get the respect, you know, that it is, as we talked about, is such a there's never enough time in a day to do all the stuff you need to do to work, to learn it. There's no set career path for it. If you want to be a doctor, you go to school, they say, do this, do this, do this. Here's the path. Take these classes, do that. Boom, you're a lawyer, you're whatever. And someone says, well, I'd like to make it in the music industry. Well, first of all, what does that mean? And it means something different to everybody. But how do I go from sitting in my room playing an instrument and loving that to sharing that with people? And
there are some people can sit in their living room and be content with that.
Absolutely. And
I'm not one of them.
No, it's what I love to do, and I love to get out and I love to travel to see all the different faces. There's, as you know, but we sit in a room and we play every day, and I know that joy. That's why we do it. We listen. We were all, we all were fans of music. We heard it on the radio. We saw it. We saw someone play. And we go, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. And I have the utmost respect for anybody that learns an instrument, because the discipline that's required to do that. It's not, we live in a fast food society where I walk up, I order, I give you my money, and I go. And video games, and nobody wants to sit and learn an instrument anymore. So for anybody that sits and does that, there's a tremendous amount of respect. We were just crazy enough to want to try to do it for a living. And then you got to find a whole new, figure that way out, figure out how to do that.
Right. But you're right. It's not always the most accepted thing when you first come out with it. And I don't think people who, unless you made that transition from hobby to professional, that you really appreciate the time that goes into it. I mean, the business end of things is huge.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's original material that you really have to market and hone and record. And
the only thing I equate it to, it must have been like being a door-to-door salesman and having a door slammed in your face. You got to learn to have the rejection happen and not let it, sheer determination. And,
because it is a business of rejection in a lot of ways. Like you said, a lot of people don't get back to you.
You can spend days on end just waiting for that email, waiting for that call. Even when I started, booking with the band, with help from my old man, and we're just talking local before we started touring, and some of them were very old school. They wanted a press kit. They wanted you to print out, have your CD. You walk in, you hand them everything. 9 times out of 10, those would get thrown in a trash can. Sometimes in front of you, sometimes you're not there. And now it's a lot easier. And it's weird to think, because I am younger, but, I may be 26, but also it's one of those things that I've seen a definite change in the last 15 years of playing in the band. And now everything's online. Now it's like you take your electronic press kit, our agent will send it out, and it's a lot easier. But it took years and upon years I literally, and I got a funny story for you. This was a venue that we actually still play, and we love them dearly. But we reached out to them about a show. 3 years later, they get back to us. But the date was still the date I was asking for.
Yeah, the day of the month. The year wasn't right.
The year wasn't right.
But
it's 3 years later. They got back to us, and they were like, hey, by the way, if you're still available for that June 23rd. And I'm thinking, well, it is April already, but that was June 23rd from 3 years ago.
Right.
What are the chances,
right? I'm laughing because the people on both sides of this building, the marketing and stuff, it's a cast of characters that you're constantly dealing with, and the personalities, and
absolutely,
but Billy has the right idea. Music gets us through a lot of dark times. I mean, it's why we do what we do, and we kind of always have to keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, it heals. Music heals. It's good for the soul. That's why I do. That's why we do it. And then, like I said, we were just crazy enough to want to figure out, well, how can I do this for a living and not do something else? And sometimes you're like, it's a long road. It's a long road to go. But we
do it because we love it.
We love it. That's why. Pure and simple.
Very simple. Well, where can people find you? Do you have shows coming up, website, all that good stuff?
Yes, we do. So just to give a little plug on this side of things, make sure to check out the Facebook page. That's Memphis Lightning. And I think we're just around the 20,000 follower point. So if anyone hops on, please give us a follow. They can find our bands in town. All our shows and events are right there on Facebook. Our website is being revamped into a launch site. That way, all our social medias and everything will be promoted and pushed on there. Our YouTube channel at Memphis Lightning, and some upcoming shows. We have several tours coming up in March, April, and in July. And in March, we're very proud to announce, it just went live today, is Daytona Bike Week. We are going to be playing 3 shows at Main Street Station, Thursday the 7th, Friday the 8th, Saturday the 9th. And we are just so blessed.
So cool. So cool.
Oh, it's
There's going to
wonderful.
be so many people, and we get to, it's just going to be a blast.
It's awesome.
I can't wait. And we're very blessed. We're actually able to bring most of our family with us. And, you know, we got my girlfriend Jess and Mama Lightning, and it's just going to be a great time.
Mama Lightning.
Mama Lightning.
Yep.
Mama Lightning.
Got her nickname.
Gotta get her doing some harmonies in the back. All right, guys, you have been great. Thank you so much. Hang out for a second while we vamp out. Well, we got one more last comment. Oh, that was just a thumbs up. All right. See you guys next week, and you guys hang out in a second.
Thank you.
I'm on the road, don't know where it goes. I'm on the road, follow your heart, it won't let you down. Follow your heart, take the steps beyond your